Welcome to Puvanur Aadhi Laya Academy of Music and Mathematics. Welcome to Puvanur Aadhi Laya Academy of Music and Mathematics. We are in level 4. We are learning the sequences, the korvais in the basic thalas, and whatever the thalas we have learnt in 35 thalas, and also in level 2 whatever the thalas we have learnt. We have learnt 3 different korvais in Aadhi Thalam. We have also seen the maths behind it. Hope you have understood the maths. Hope you have also understood the varieties by which you have to play the 3 different korvais. When you repeat it 3 times, how differently you have to play 3 different possible ways. It's important, and also you should know how to express that in putting it in thalam, and also play it, and play at different speeds. Your hand should be adaptable to play for different speeds. If you are playing that din din na, din din na, din din na, you should adapt perfectly the kala pramana in that cycle. Ta din din na, ta din din, ta din din na, ta din na, ta di din na, din. You should immediately get to a slower pace. You should be able to play perfectly. So that is the expertise which involves a lot of practice, and a lot of times you have to express yourself and understand the math behind it. So having said that, let's get into the next segment. Using Tithang, I will teach you few korvais. Before I get into the korvai, let me start with the Thirukural. வசையிலா வன்பயன் குன்றும் இசையிலா யாக்கை பொறுத்த நிலம் புகழில்லாதவருடைய உடம்பை சுமந்த நிலம் மாசற்ற பயிர் வளம் குன்றி செழிப்பின்றி காணப்படும். See, a person who has not achieved fame, Thiruvallur compares with the land where the crop is without all its fertility and all its lustre. It lacks lustre in the presence of the person, the land which carries a person without fame. But if you look at, isn't it true, when you go and visit places like academy, when you go and visit places like temples where lectures are happening, it like glows. The place itself glows. The mother earth feels so proud it carries such beautiful people. This is exactly what I felt when I went to the academy, when it was brimming with people with excellence, people with knowledge, people with richness. Everything was, and the whole atmosphere was glowing. And it's because of the knowledge, it's the reflection, the good mind. The earth itself feels proud of these people, and the whole place glows wonderfully. So we need to be there. We need to be there, meaning like we need to be knowledgeable, we need to strive towards excellence. And when we strive towards excellence, obviously the rest of the things will follow us. So, without much ado, I will get into the class. The next demarcation where you can give is tadhimi taka tadhimi. The rest is, when you are playing a sequence, continuously you can't play korvais. There are people, they have learned so many korvais, they continuously play korvais. Because that's not the expertise. The korvai is only an aspect of it. Most important is Sarvalogu is important. How much you play Sarvalogu, in between you have to give these maths to show that you also know this. It's not that that's the only aspect of your Taniyardana. Continuously play maths. No, that's also not right. Okay. So after you finish off with this first segment, the second segment you go with the Nadamayam of For some time you be the Nadame, play all these sequences, keep the audience engaged, and then get into that mood of playing the korvai. When you are playing this korvai at this strategic point, tangada dim, dakata dim, tangada dim, this takatari is a lead. So when you play takatari tit tangada is closest. So there you fit this korvai. Also, it should be relational, as I told you. The first time when I played Tadhi Takadina, when I played Takadana, I played Tadhi Takadina. It's related. When I play when you are playing that phrase, more suited towards that. So, you can choose that model. The first part, the second part, this is the first set of the phrases you have got to adopt, construct. Now you gradually reduce by removing the karvai. Without the karvai is the second part, second paragraph. The third fill is you have to play a different dimension sol, so to make this as a qualifying aspect of a korvai. You can't play it again, you can't finish because it's just an aviprayam extension. If you want to make it a korvai, the second part should be slightly different from the first part. Tading innatum. So tading innatum, I taught you, is 6. Thakha, which is ki and tha. Thaku tiku. Ki tha namtha. That is a positional way. Tading innatum. Thaka tading innatum. Thaku tiku tading innatum. That is the pattern. Tading innatum 6. Taka is 2. Tading innatum 6. Again, Thaku tiku is 4. Tading innatum. Here the pattern is 6, 6, 6. You are placing it at equal intervals. The first time you give a 2 gap. The second time you give a 2 plus 2 gap, which is 4. When I say 4, you will not understand the progression. 6, 2, 6, 2, 2, 6. So that's a good progression. Tading innatum taka tading innatum taka tuku tading innatum ta. Tadim gindathum. Now the second time when you play tadim takadum. Kikkidadum is the position. So kikkidadum tadi. Deem is you pull towards yourself and get that resonant sound. That is deem. First time. Instead of takkadadum, kitakitadum. So 3 different varieties. So the net korvai, tit tam kita takatari kita takatam, takadam tam kita takatari kita takatam, tit tam kita takatari kita takatam tam kita takatari kita takatam, ding innatam takat, tading innatam takat, tading innatam. This is the korvai. Again, I will explain this in the whiteboard with the math behind it so that you don't have any doubts. The later half, I'm going to give some different exposures to you, how you can do it differently. Tading innatum taka, tading innatum taka, tading innatum is 6 beats. 6 beats is 24. A 24 can also be constructed 3 sevens are 21 and give a 3 karvai. 3 tong tading innatum tading innatum tading innatum. It's still 24. So 3 plus 7 into 3 is 24. Here 6 plus 2, 8, 8 plus 6 is 14. 14 plus 2 plus 2, 18. 18 plus 6 is again 24. 6, 2, 6, 2, 2, 6. If you add 24, 3 plus 7 plus 7 plus 7 plus 7. So 3 sevens, 21 plus 3, 24. The another variety, Tham, Tadikita Tanta, Tadikita Tanta, Tadikita Tanta, 3, 5, 3, 5, 3, 5. You can play like that as well. Tam, Tatakadina Tam, Tatakadina Tam, Tatakadina 8 into 3, 24. So again, there's another way of doing it. Another way of doing it, Ta, Tadikita Tanta, Dikita Tanta, Dum, Tadikita Tanta, 3, 5, 7, 9. Beautiful progression. 3 plus 5, 8. 8 plus 9, 8 plus 7, 15. 15 plus 9, 24. So I've given you 4 different varieties for playing this korvai. Variety number 1. This is the first time when you are doing it. Another variety I taught you is Tong Here Tadingenatum, how it's constructed, how to ensure that it is 7. Taha dihi kittatum. Taha dihi kittatum. In Mr. Chap it perfectly fits. You have to tell if when you are playing it is not coming in your korvai, you have to ensure that your 7 is perfect in Mr. Chapatala. Then when you play in this korvai, you will get it right. So the Misram, when you are playing a 7 in an Aadhi Thalam, so you have to ensure if you are missing a beat, it's because you are not playing that phrase right. To ensure that you are playing the phrase right, you have to apply that phrase into its family thala, which is Mr. Chabutala. Experiment yourself and see whether it perfectly fits. Then when you play, you will not go wrong. The third variety, that's how you have to play. Tam, tatakadinna, tam, tatakadinna, tam, tatakadinna, tam. Then the fourth variety, that also you can play. These are different varieties where you can play, and where to position this I'll teach you. Like that you can play. So the position is, after playing for Sancharam Maninde Vanditu, or the sequencer, then you have to play this korvai. The korvai cannot be, when you are playing three different varieties, don't choose different patterns. Within the same pattern, show the variations. Meaning, tadi ingenatum taka, tadi ingenatum taka, tikku tadi ingenatum. Tadi takadum taka, tadi takadum taka, tikku tadi takadum. Tadi tergadum taka, tadi tergadum taka, tikku tadi tergadum. When you are choosing this phrase, tong tadi kedatum, tadi kedatum, tadi kedatum. Tong ta tergadum ta, tergadum ta ta ta, tergadum ta. Tong taka tandargadum taka, tandargadum taka, tandargadum ta. Use a variety of the 7, not this and that. So that gives, because you are dealing with the subject, and show variety in that subject, rather than confusing one to other, then you get to lose your balance offshoot. So it's important to be in the subject, then you will be able to play better. So that is, those are the varieties, and I'll teach you one more korvai using this tithang. Tang, Tadikitatum, Tadi, Tangadagata, Tadikitatum, Tatum, Tangadagata, Tadikitatum, Tadikitatum. Here the construction is you are increasing, it's going in an ascending form. The first is then you add that, another that, 2. Then you are adding 2 plus 2. Now the construction is 16, 18, 20, and then you play. After you play the tang to give the demarcation between the first variation and the last part variation, Purvangam Uttarangam connection, use the tang and play Tadikitatum. Tadikitatum, you play the variety Tadita Kadadum, Tadit Tadikadadum, Kadakadakadum. All those things you can play. This is another variety of playing the korvai. This is another korvai. The third korvai also I will tell you, because I feel for people who can understand the math, it's a very nice korvai. I want you to try this as well. The construction is very beautiful. It is a 24-beat korvai. Here the structure is tit tangita taha tagadum tangita taha. So taha 4. Now then it reduced to 2. Tit tangita tam tagadum tangita tam. Taha, from taha it has become only taha, only tam. Okay. The third one tit tangita tagadum tangita without a gap. So when you look at it, is 6 beats. Is 5 beats. Is 4 beats. So altogether 6 plus 5 plus 4 is 11 plus 4, 15 beats. Since it's a 24-beat korvai, you have to have 9 beats filler towards the end to give the qualification for a korvai. So you are playing a different dimension phrase. Tha, tadum, tadikita tanda, tadum, tadikita tanda, tadum, tadikita tanda. So the last part is 12 syllabled phrase. Tha, tadum, tadikita tanda, tadum, tadikita tanda, tadum, tadikita tanda. How it's structured? Tha, tadum. Thang is 3, 1. 3, 1 is 4. Dong tadikitatum is 3 and 5 is 8. 3 plus 5 is 8. Thong takta dong tadikitatum takta dong tadikita takta dong tadikitatum. Takta is 1 beat. 3 plus 1. Dong tadikitatum. 3 plus 5 is 2 beats. Like that, you have 3 constructs of similar variety. 3 different same pieces you are constructing. The biggest advantage of this korvai is, as you move along, I will teach you when you get into the advance, this can be perfectly played as a Tissaranadai. Because anything as 3, 24 is a divisible by 3. When you are playing for 24, 16 is not divisible by 3, 8 is not divisible by 3, 24 is divisible by 3. So the same korvai you can play in this way. When you want to enter into this a passage, you want to have a gateway like Abhimanyu entering the Vadnovyuham. When you want to approach a Gandanadai, you use that approach of a sequence which can open the door for the Dishanadai, which can open the door for Gandanadai. You have to choose those sort of framework to get into it. And this is a good framework for you to get into this, which I'll teach you later. But for now, you can practice this korvai. So again, any one of this korvai can fit perfectly here. Learn this. We will review it next class, how you're going to do with the interludes, with the sequences and the korvais. I'll end this class with a Tirukkural. Vasai ஒழிய வாழ்வாரே வாழ்வார், இசை ஒழிய வாழ்வாரே வாழாதவர். இவ்வுலகில் படியில்லாமல் புகழுடன் வாழ்பவரே உயிர் வாழ்பவராக மதிக்கப்படுவர். புகழ் இல்லாமல் பழியோடு வாழ்பவர் இறந்தவர்க்கு சமமாகவே மதிக்கப்படுவர். So most important is you should not be a person who are abused. That's important. Whether you are having fame, name, that's different. You cannot be say this guy, I cannot stand him. You should not get that name. It's very important that you should be pleasing in the first place. You should not hurt others. You should not be very blunt with people. You be always pleasant with anybody with such behaviors. That's the prima facie. And then without that sort of a behavior, that's what the ruler says, with that sort of an attribute, and even if you achieve that fame, then that person is regarded high. Rather, if one is abused, then is as good as that dead person. That's what the ruler compares. And we need to think and ponder about his opinion, and seems to be true. Like, let's get into take this, assimilate it, and digest this good thought, and try to be as good as we can. Poonur RVR signing off. I will see you in the next class with more korvais with maths behind it. Cheers. Episode 2, Aadhi Thalam, Korvai 1, Mathematical Understanding, total count of 128 aksharas. Interpretation of korvai goes like this. Tit tankitatakatharikatatakadam, tadit tankitatakatharikatatakadam, tit tankitatakatharikatatakadam, tadhi ketatanta. Episode 2, Aadhi Thalam, Korvai 2, Mathematical Understanding, total count of 128 aksharas. Interpretation of korvai goes like this. Tit tankitatakatharikatatakatang, tadikitatum, tadit tankitatakatharikatatakatang, tadikitatum, tadhum, tit tankitatakatharikatatakatang, tadikitatum, ta. Episode 2, Aadhi Thalam, Korvai 3, Mathematical Understanding, total count of 192 aksharas. Interpretation of korvai goes like this. Tit tankitatakatharikatatakatang, tatum tankitatakatharikatatakatang, tit tankitatakatharikatatakatang, tatum tankitatakatharikatatakatang, tit tankitatakatharikatatakatang, tatum tankitatakatharikatatakatang, tadhum, tadikitatanta, tadhum, tadikitatanta, tadhum, tadikitatanta.